For more tutorials, videos, and reviews, check out creatingtracks.com.
Hey guys, welcome to creatingtracks.com, and this is what we did last week. All right, sweet. So now there's a lot of different ways to approach how to make a rhythm like this when you already have your bass and drums. The best way that I found is to use your MIDI notes from your bass clip. So what I did was used these MIDI notes from my bass. So I copied all of these. So I copied them, or I actually copied the MIDI clip. So right click and copy. And then I pasted that over here. And of course, changed the color. I renamed it to acid. I'm wasting so much time. Acid. Okay, and then double click that. And in this, all I did was I removed these 4 notes at the bottom, 4, 5, whatever. And then I moved these ones down to the same note. So essentially, we're playing the same rhythm as the bass with just an exception of those 4 notes that we deleted. And it's all on the same key. So check this out. And then we made this in our previous tutorial last week. All right, now if your song is in a different key and you feel like this is too high or too low, you can go into your MIDI clip, select all of those notes, and then you can click and drag them down an octave or up an octave, or you can do Control-Shift down on your PC or Command-Shift down arrow on your Mac. Or you could take it an octave higher. You can take it even higher. All right, so you can always change that. And if you also want this to be a little more louder and in your face, which shouldn't be done to every single instrument, you can add a saturator and grab this a bit warmer, turn on your color, turn on the soft clip, and then bring down the dry wet. Another thing you can do is grab your auto filter from the audio effects rack, place it over here, and we want to modulate the filter and the resonance. And to make sure that you're not clipping, go back into your massive and turn down the master volume. All right, so let's select all of our effects. So I'll select massive, shift select the compressor, or you can do Command A or Control A on your PC. And then let's do Command G or right click and group. And when you group them, you can see there's an instrument rack over here and everything is inside that. Let's go ahead and click on these 3 buttons on the left and everything opens up nicely. So what we want to do is we want to map our effects to these macros over here. So in our massive, let's open this arrow up and we're going to click on our track over here and let's turn on show all parameters. Then when we click on any of these parameters, you can see the red line that comes up. It depicts it. You could use the configure mode on your massive as well, but this will just show you how to see your automation as well. So let's click on the pitch and you can see it shows up. No, not that menu. Let's click on a different knob. Click over here and unclick that again and you'll see it shows up. Click on a different knob, click on that red line, unclick or unselect that, and it shows up over here. Then we can right click these parameters and map them to macro 1, map this to macro 2, map this to macro 3, and now we have these macros over here that are moving the same knobs in our massive. So if you look over here in our massive, those knobs are also moving as I move these knobs in my instrument rack. So if I play and move those knobs, all right, now we also want to map the filter, frequency, and resonance to our macro. So let's double click on all these effects so we can minimize them And in the filter, we're going to right click on the frequency and map to macro 4. And now you can see that when I move my macro, it moves the frequency. So if it's all the way down, it's all the way down, and all the way up is all the way up. But I want to change that. I want it where my macro, when it's all the way down, I want the frequency to be somewhere over here. So I want it to be between 4 kilohertz and all the way at the top. So let's click on this map over here, and you can see at the top we have all our parameters assigned to our macros with their minimum and maximum value. So over here in the path, you can see we have our auto filter and then the frequency. So the frequency, we want the minimum to be at 4 kilohertz. So if I bring down my macro all the way and I change the minimum over here, you can see it's increasing the filter at the bottom. So let's change this to about 4 or 3 or something. And then the maximum value, we can change that to 18,000, which is 18 kilohertz. And then let's click on map again. And now if I move my frequency knob, you can see that it's only moving between those specific values. Now with the Q, I want to do the same thing. So I'll just do a quick and rough example on what you can do. So I don't want it to be this high at the max. And I also want to affect its minimum and maximum value. So at the minimum, I want it somewhere over here. So let's click on the map. And in the minimum value of my resonance, I'll increase it to about here, and the maximum, I'll bring it down to like here. So if I click on map again and I move the knob, you can see that it lies only between those values that we assigned to it. All right, and then you can do it where your minimum and maximum value are kind of close to each other, and that way there's a very subtle difference. All right, and check it out. Alright, so there you go. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe to our channel for a lot more. And we will see you next time. Peace.